Okay, we will do the prayer of Manjushri.
Lamanda Gumbo Jin Jamba Yang Chan Cai Loi Kanji Lun Tim Yin Tin Da Ni Dai Nam Dai Rab Sai Chi Nian Ten Guen Chi Xin Sen Chi Ni Jian Tu Gai Leng Ban Zin Gang Dai Si Bin Zhen Rai Ma Ri Men Toin Tu Ngai Yi Si Wei Ru Zui Gun Lai Pu Ji Dar Zi Yin Lai Chu Ju Yang Den Song Zhong Dar Chen Zhu Nü Mo Ni Loi Lin Ji Zhang Zhu Zhu Zi Ji Ma Ri Men Sen Tu Ngai Nyun Gu Qi Nian Zhen Zi Ra Ji Na De Nian Da Jin Sa Jun Tar Se Yun De Lun Zun Yao Sen Tu Wei Hu Zhu Tai Zhu Dan Zhu Nin Yen De Ta Le Men Sen Jan Bai Yang Lai Rab Dun Du Umaram Bazanadi Umaram Bazanadi Marabazanadi, 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 Marabazanadi. Marabazanadi, Zindin, Chinjin, Kenra, Visinji, Talin, Dimoy, Mumbai, Robsine. Gadain Denji Shun Lui To Bai Lundrup Bombe Nang Wan Zan Tu Su Kang Zin Da Wan De Bam Zhong Sin Ti Wan De Na Gombo Jam Yan Te Ni Ni King me Parian Tong War Shu Ninja Chimbo to the Nimishe, Sony Molam Chimbo Ngajeda, Begada Natsende Chimindo, Demba Tuje Chen Lang Kui Chan, Sa Masam Jeme Shara Paro Je, Majemega Namjingo Ni, Sozorari Shi Juwa. Tusum Jave Yumla Gui Chan, Sa Ujin Solim Peme Dombo La, Jave Namjo Ranjo Tunjidu, Senso Beje Yenden Sobarwa. Pema June Dale Bezer John Leben Ludo Arian Dewa Da Tome Ini Cholan Chujida Yunde Veda Shajewe Jisha Kenru Chuni Namla Gui Chan Sa Omin Chuji Inji Podane Tusum Sanji Kunji Ngo Ni Rasum Chugu Ngosum Tenzeba Tsawe Lame Shabla Sovande Dasun Jove Lamna Chela Enju Alasan Tanganzo Lobjong Changdu Tangbo ni Kulongdi ni Kalchimbo Yimba Songzang ni Kulongi Nani Kulong Yakshu Sangshu di Jachishu di and Changchugi Semrimboche Shabatiri Chezang and Ti and Kulongdi want to Tang Te Lojonaruna Shui.
For studying anything, the most important things is the motivation. Among the motivation of the bodhicitta, the most excellent intention of the bodhicitta. So please give rise to that mind of the Buddha.
Naso Tadi Naranzo Lobjong Chi Shung Ti Minglani and Jomden Dema Sherab Jeparlu Chimbiningbo Shukso Sungutwa.
The title for this study is the Heart of the transcendent perfections of the wisdom from the words of Buddha.
단디 거랑 배자 당부 다가르게도 선용구도
It starts with the line it says in the language of the India.
대가란조 변 남바 산지 비추디기 중공디 아니 갸가르네 중님바 송장 갸가르디다 추기 쿵 준슈 딘디 다쿵 준슈 되니 용비기 추지레 송으로 쉬고라
As the Buddha Dharma of the Tibetan Buddhism came from India, which is authoritatively most authentic. So therefore, we have this line usually at the beginning of text in the language of the India, referring to a proper, authentic teaching.
대가란조 되니 갸가르기 나라 게릭 망고 요리데 게릭 나니 약슈 되니 lecture 아니 samtidas 다 sanskrit 송고라 안 데이게 갈라 마 통고 민디 주 마음 발라양 되니 상게 용비값수 데게릭 상슈 디기 람네 아니 셴뱅기 아니 레치투위기 박작샤이기 된다는 송고리
Among many languages of India, the best one is believed to be the Sanskrit. And so having these texts in Sanskrit is very auspicious things. And also when we have this in Sanskrit at the beginning of the text, and this is mainly for the sake of having an impression of the text in the most precious or the most excellent, the most great source of the blessing of the language.
let's 되니다 lecture 게라 바가와티 숭디가수 아니 베게라 좀된 데마 시바디레
In Sanskrit, and the term Bhagavati, and the Tibetan term for that is Jomden Dhamma. In English, the transcendent victor or the blessed one.
되니 빠랑자 시바디 되니 시랍 시바디라
Then the Branja is the wisdom or Shirab in Tibetan.
파라미타 시바디 되니 파르도 침바스
Paramita is going beyond the transcendent.
되니 시다야 시바디 되니 닝보함 조 들고라
Then Shidaya refers to the heart or the essence.
그래서다 갸갈게라 남중간조 좀된 데 슈디가서 바가완 슈그라
In the language of India, the Sanskrit, then Bhagavan refers to the transcendent victor.
자 태가르 줄바이나 좀된 장마 요레 숭도 바가완 시바디 된다데
If we translate it literally, then in Tibetan it becomes Jomden. In English could be the transcendent.
되니 데 시바디 되니 벽이 로자와 전부 남기 되니 된줄 유출을 샤바레스
Then the de was added by the Tibetan translator for the sake of making it clear. The meaning is in order to make it very clear.
갈지니스 디가서 렉자르케라 바가완 샤바디 친앙 투몽기 되니 똠바다 하든을 고그라
Bhagavan.
나라조 지로벨 할라야 바가완 슈그레 때 낭베 똠발라야 바가완 슈그레 대가난기다 줌다게 소수즈 라소소스라 바가완 셰베 민디 베주 땅수지 여대바라
The Bhagavan, transcendent, was referred to the gods of the other traditions, non-Buddhist tradition, as well as the teacher of the Buddha Dharma. So this is kind of customs in the old days in India.
되니 벽이 로자와 남기디 똠바랑라 거에게 체도 데 셰바디다 직진nen샤리
So then Tibetan translator, in order to make this specific term or the concept to refer to the Buddha itself, Buddha himself, then they add the syllable that.
데 셰바티 ngaranzo korwa tang ra tene shiwa ra sishiniga le debatila kogora dele tarbachila kogora.
The term that going beyond refers to going beyond the existence and the peace, or the samsara and nirvana.
tene namju tumongi bhagavan 셰바티 tene ta jigdenbe ki lachigmato dile debachila kojime barash yongora ta sanje ki tumong mayimbe kechu sanje rangla ngoyosungwa chedu ta nensiksen desi kyombaredwa.
So in the general, the Bhagavan, the name that refer to the beings are basically the worldly beings. They are not referred to the Buddha, who is gone beyond. So this term, that transcendent, is an term to empathize Buddha's wisdom or his state.
다 된소 지당다 직될 레다디 조 단다 계기로 된소 다 로제 연치도 직진이 슈샤바이.
So this is just the literal explanations. So in order to make things clear, especially for the translators. So yeah.
테니 좀된 슈바텔라양 먼저 자시지 제바이나 좀 세디가 송나죠 뒤시디마 좀바 생고라.
So the term also Jomden, if we explain it literally, then it means subduing or destroying the 4 maras.
Den 셰바테 윤된 tukdan dembachila kora.
Then the term in English endowing, this referred to endowing 6 qualities.
dortuna sanjegi kechu dengu tatikos.
In short, this is kind of explaining the quality of the Buddha.
당가라서 남주 뒤셰바디 ngaranzola tungal teke neba chegintela kogora.
The Mara generally believed or they understood to be the one that brings suffering to us.
단다 남바 산제비 슝나니 뒤ngomadi 치롤기 뒤숭구에 말에 랑기 셈기 남바로 똑바 출바들라 뒤조 샤기리.
In Buddhism, the Mara is not referred to something out there. The Mara is referred to our mind, which is confused and deluded.
당보들라 녀몽베 뒤숭디 가서 ngaranzo 되자 셰당 디무 자위 녀몽바 텔레 테니 녀위 녀몽바 망보 지게 받든죠 뒤샤기.
So the first and foremost of the maras of the afflictive emotions are the attachment and aggressions and the stupidities. And these are the root afflictive emotions of the mara. And then upon that, there are subsidiary afflictive emotions.
산지기 투라 다 녀몽베기 남도 찌안여말 탐지 좀 심바레 빵 심바레 숨고하고라.
Buddha is free of all this afflictive emotion. He is completely clear and free.
테니 뒤니바들라 풍복이 뒤숭구.
Then the second Mara is the Mara of the skandhas, the body.
테니 풍부 뒤셔바데 때 ngaranzo기 수부디레 ngaranzo 수부대양 코로와 낭라 톱샤교 수부티 규디 레당 녀몽베 응오를도 도니 톱샤베 데우지인디 다 수부텔라드네야 동al 망부 중구라 데 산지기다 딘데기 동al기 풍부대양 빵 심바레 예수.
This body or physical body, the collections of the 5 skandhas, is also a Mara, and with this we get to suffer a lot in order to protect this our body, and in order to care for this we get to suffer a lot. But for Buddha, he is beyond this suffering and he is free of this suffering.
teni du sumba di ngaranzo chida ki du sumuri chiwa de la ko.
The third Mara is the death.
ngaranzo chazang chindo meshindo de rawa meba chiwi lamda dogo ra.
We all, even though we don't want to die, but we have to die. There's no choice for us.
Didu kapsu tungal tseme bachi yode bara.
When that happens, then of course there is a tremendous suffering.
Di temba sanji ki dindi chiwi ki tungal chiwa korang tamche pang simbare yusumuri.
For Buddha, he has transcended the death and he is free of death.
Shibadila lai pui duyu sumikaso tengaranzo chö jegen lani pardu jegen ki dindi lai namba ingechi yore dindi sumuri. Diyang sanji pang simbare la.
And then fourth Mara is the Mara of the God. And this God is usually the one that creates obstacle for us. But for Buddha, he has already conquered this God, the Mara, and free of the suffering that arises from that obstacle.
Ani tomba sanje dorje den la sang maje bikita tsemonte la teni tuigi mak mangbuchi lemne teni labi tuigi yang teni parche mangbu tsamle ten sanje gi chambe tinge zila shukde parche gi yul tamjile nambar talwachik tembe ki tseba yuwa.
So Buddha, before he attained enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, there came many Maras to create obstacles to Buddha. And then Buddha, in order to avoid this, he set or the rest in the equanimity of the great compassions. And through that, he was able to overcome their obstacles.
Ta yunde chuk dang denba sungdwa ta yunde chuk de tangbo wangdu gyurba shibe yunde de.
So then there's 6 qualities. And among this, the first quality is conquering.
Sanje nyomongba tamje pangsimba yundu nyomongbe shewangdu ma gyurwa sanje korana rawang yobare sumari.
As Buddha has already eliminated all the afflictive emotions, he has conquered all the sufferings, and he has freedom.
Yunde niba de la changpa sumari ma changpa thakpa dokchi.
The second quality is the purifications.
Sanje ki yishi te mei number la kwe te mei number pe la kwe ne mei ki pyushing tamje segirwa tena chi sanje ki yishi te ki de ngaranzo nyomba tamje segba changpa sidin sumari.
Buddha's wakefulness is generally like the fires, and the fires generally burns all the woods. So like that, Buddha's wakefulness, his wisdoms, clears away all the obstacles and afflictive emotions.
Ten sanje ki suglayan keche yuri chen sangbo sumju zani peje sangbo kechu ki tende ki nambar kemba sug sangwa sumari.
Then Buddhist form is also has the great qualities, the qualities of the 32 major marks and the 80 minor marks.
Tene chakpa sungdika su chakpara tene sanje la yunde machangba jia meba tamje yongsu zokpe yunde chakpa sumari.
The fame or is completely well known, means he has all the great qualities.
Ni pal sekente yang yunde nambe ki mingrwa sanje la yunde maluba den yunde drowa tamje ki ten durungwa ra ta sanje yimba chik ten durungwa chisunga.
Yeah, then Bell the term probably a richness. So Buddha has all the great qualities. Then he is the great object of refuge for all of us.
Then Yunden Chewa Sungre Chewa Shueti Sangigi Tu Katu Inayang. Draw Simjen Tamjela Negab Gi Pemba Tarduki Tewa Dindegi Lam Tembala Kun Micheba Dindegi Chewe Yunden and Temba Hasung.
Then there's another quality, the quality of the great, that referring to Buddha's the actual way of helping sentient beings, eliminating all the temporary obstacles, and then helping sentient beings to reach the enlightenment.
Tadi Sanjigi Kejura, Tindegi Sanjigi Keju di Gyuzo Kanglatine Chungris, Gyuniro Shagdwa, Dongba Nidang, Ningji Ni Shakur.
These are the qualities of the Buddha, and this quality comes from mainly two causes. These two causes are referred to emptiness and compassion generally.
Taduru, that day Shubadi Tegi Kondu Shubanashi, Sibada Shivanili Debachi, the Mas Edegata Bagawati in Mas and Jabgodita, Manzo Chunik Neluk de la. Ani Amanangshi Pekobara, Sherabji Paruchimba, second Tigi 20 Toksonwa ina. Teni Sangigi Yudi, Tadi Pamagi, Taji, Delwa Yobisorochi, the Muik Dewa Mare, Tad Chungdangi Goni Sungsha.
So there, the transcendent refers to Buddha being free of all afflictive emotions. And then Ma, and the second word after the Ma as referring to Buddha as the source of all the knowledges, and therefore it is now explained or determined here as Ma. Generally, Ma has this quality of being able to give, being the great resources. So in that way, there is this connection, Buddha being the source of the great wisdom and compassion.
Teni ta parul du chimba sungda sherab di parul chimba sungda so da sherab la mangbu kazin shuban na shingira jigden be sherab jigden le de be sherab chimbe sherab sum yundnani ta jigden le de badang chimbe sherab niga parul du chimbare ta tanda kapsu lakbar du teni ngazo chimbe sherab sen di shugir.
So then going beyond as it refers to generally for many things, but here we namely refer to three things, and they're referring to the going beyond of the worldly phenomena, going beyond of the
ngaranzo jidang sherab segin tela number sum jigden be sherab jigden le de be sherab ani chembo am ta chog sherab sum ro shakura.
Oh, sorry, I was making a mistake. The wisdoms, Sherab, generally referring to the wisdoms of the worldly phenomena, wisdoms of the then transcendental phenomena, and then wisdom of the great.
Then dandakap dela Sherab digi parul du chimba segendi siba na shiwa nige gi parul chinchugindi chembe sherab digi chigires.
So in this context, we are referring to the great wisdoms, and then great wisdoms here may basically refer to the one that which is beyond the samsara and the nirvana.
Ngalanzo jigdinle debe sherab shabadi nyentö dang rangyal dachobe gyula yebe sherab tira digi siba le targir de na shiwa chokjig baas gogbe ingla shuk digra. Tatanda tekba chembe gi sherab segendi chembe sherab digi siba shiwa nige tali chorwa te tongba nidang ningji nidik chigira korwa le tarwa chabala tongni gi zo rimba chigire shiwa am gogba nyentö le tarwa chabala ningji gi nyamni dik chigira.
Then the transcendent wisdoms that Pajaka Buddha and the Shavaka Buddhas, these wisdoms, even though it transcends from the samsara but it still hangs in the realm of the peace or the nirvana. But in this context, the transcend the great wisdoms, which is referred to the Mahayana wisdom, then this helps us to go beyond both the transcendent, both the existence and the peace, and within that the wisdom and the compassions, and the wisdoms helps to go beyond the realm of the existence, and then compassion helps us to go beyond the realm of nirvana.
알았어. 다 딘데 인디다 닝보 셰바텔라 카징한도 슈반나 신기 게 딩 디바스디 디바 나네게 디비기 디바다 닝보 라시라 또 라시라 송거라 딘데 찍듯이 되게.
Then Nyingbo, or the heart, here refers to, among all the Prajna Paramita, the very elaborate one, and then middling one, and then most condensed one. Here, the heart, then it refers to the very condensed and the most summarized one.
양가란 저 닝보 셰바텔라 디시견단 찍라 모든 똥니기 림바던 바텔라 닝보 선송도.
Another way to explain this heart is referring to this direct presentation of the essential meaning of the emptiness.
저 까바바텔라 모든 똥니기 림바당 베드암 슉수테니 원도기 림바 숭해지와.
So the second turning of the wheel of Dharma, there is this teaching of the direct presentations of the essential meaning of the emptiness, and then hidden meaning of the realizations.
되니 실증기 독하시디 간도디 베든 온도 그림바디 조우숭 닝보디양 슉수테 양 다단다 시랍 닝보 자오시는데 닝보디 모덴테 아니 온도도 양 슉된 것도
So some the sutras and the Prajna Paramita emphasize or explains the hidden meaning of the realizations, and in this the Heart Sutra, this focus more on the explanation of the direct teachings or the presentation of the emptiness.
알았어. 되게 잘라. 다 반복직 숭다 반복 세겐데저디 로사와든저기 규르샤디가서 식든저 나라 아니 제마 미셴기 다디지 쥐네당 샘발루에 도지다 뉴루타야기 마영외치도 체다다 숭샤베기 다 남샤지 반복 세겐.
Then the concept term bambo here in English, the single segment. This is just for the sake of making the text very precise, in order that other people are not adding anything or taking anything out. So therefore they add this.
반복직 나는 지당 셜로가 숨자로 정의라.
In one single segment, generally there are around 300 stanzas.
다다 시랍님보 반복직에 숨겨서 말이 다디 시랍님보 당 전에 빼자 망부지라 반복직에 숨는 말도 시랍님보디 다 근데 요 말와 용용라.
Here it seems that the Heart Sutra is this is not referred to Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra doesn't have that much of these stanzas. Probably it refers to Heart Sutra together with other Prajna Paramita texts.
다디 잘라 좀 된데만 시랍지 파루도 침발라 차살로 손다디 로자웨 꼬바레 숨도.
So then the next line, the homage to the Bhagavati Prajna Paramita, it is said that this was added by the translator.
다지당 안저디 남주 까마인비 땡죄도 인다 간저 유르기 착선 연구요. 딘델로 코.
Generally in the Shastra, there is the homage by translators, homage of the translation. So this line is specifically referred to that.
지당 가서 로자와 진저기다 빼자 차비든도 귤 용도 가서 아니 귤 타르침 바당 아니 귤라 파르침메 봐 디디 여행기 탑실라더니 원라디네 차자와 난거도
Generally, translators, when they aspire to make their translation perfect and successful, so at the beginning they make such homage.
타지당 가랑조 내가 자천부지 지고디 아니 소남기 촉지 소남기 촉 자천부지 싹송하이나 안디기 퉁긴도 차기로 바르제 시와당 삼든도 발라 퉁긴 차기
Generally, undertaking a great activity like this, and the translators and the people who are making this, they at the beginning make such homage, and this will have tremendous merits, as well as it will help us help them to eliminate all the obstacles.
남중한조 처벌 당 다나 귤기 차든조디 차차발라 때네 뜀바당 템발라 구바기 그래 구샵기 그래 숨거라
Generally, this kind of homage at the beginning helps us to have devotions in the teachings as well as in the Buddha.
되니 대라 때네 때 나란절라 소남기 촉 자신부지 싹둑도아
In that way, we are able to accumulate a tremendous amount of merit.
되니 소남징기 미 삼바탐지 룹스네 산지기 도난디네 숨
In the sutra, it says that those who have merits and they are able to accomplish a great thing.
당한조 상하촌이 시나 두제 맞춰비 ngo를도 도도에 당 상당에 당 되니 진바당에 당 냐체다 당에 당 다딘서당 디기 원르기 해나 차거리
In the Tantric traditions, before engage in a great activity, we make offerings such as sang, and then give alms, act generosities, and release lives. So all of these are for that purpose, accumulating this tremendous merit.
나선 따지는 마슈긴다 되게 닭이 퇴바 뒤지나 손다 되네 마식 되네 마다 본준 소방아 러시된 거래
So then from the line that's I have heard, it's I'm pointing out the 5 excellences or the splendids.
다 되게 쓰긴디 덤바 상지기 간디 뜬여바 대낭신 순거
That's referred to the way Buddha demonstrated the teaching.
닭이 쓰대가 따디 퇴근디 술을 샤워쓴다 다딜라이 샤술 카시에 다 용달라 군가오 순거
This I generally refers to Ananda.
다두르 가지고 기슨 제다시견다 디 가르스나 디가서 덤바 상지기 가리 송여바 낭신 다 공기마 시긴 송을 다 코랑기 특질 해게 매송을 제다들
Then the Tibetan term Kakigukisaki, here in English we don't have it, and generally it's agentive particles. So then it's kind of empathizing that I am going to just explain this as exactly how Buddha taught it.
딜레 제다 맞아와지네 가주 기장마티스나 테니 꿈가오 코랑기 삼로당 데비기 깨져라고 시작이라
If it's not an agentive particle, then it's becomes something like an explanation by Gongao Ananda himself.
다 코랑기니 퇴바스 드니 고웨 뒤직나 다디네기 깝직나 소리
So then next Dujignar here, at one time, at a time in the past, referring basically.
다디 시랍 닝보디 양양 송에 계절에 민도라 깝직 마도 송 민도라 뒤직 나스네 디네 송.
So here at a time, basically implies that the Prajna Parameter was taught only only one time. It wasn't taught for many times.
몰라서 디네 다디 군가올라 슈에 김세 가르스나디 산지 공반 양을 대사회 제라 더 로지 차뒤갑수 되니 산지기 템발라 가겐기 라당 미당 딘소기다 템바니 동차송 다 산지기 템바디 민두 다 산지기 템바 영사마레 산지리기 또스 찰레 당인다고 라고레 다지 셈바뀌었니다 용간 영사마레 ngomanang시 민두 스네 딘리기 다 네술 망부 중할 때네 라량 군가오 외숭춘보 아니 녀와 코르 숨기 산지기 숭샤베 까탐지 양자 두릅 나와.
So generally, after 1 year in Buddha's parinirvana, then many people were kind of worried that there was no more teachings, and people were saying to each other that now it's not great anymore, that there's no Buddha, no one is teaching, and then they are expressing their sorrow about not having Buddha, basically. And then because of that, then Ananda and also Dipamkara, they came, and then or Nyawarkor. Also Nyawarkor, I don't know the Sanskrit, sorry, Nyawarkor. And those came, and they got together and then started to collect the teachings.
다디가서 아니 군가오기 산지기 숭샤베 도드 탐지 두릅 나와.
Then Ananda collected all the teachings in the sutta taught given by Buddha.
다 산지기 숭샤베기 깔롭딘조 군가오 크랑라 미지베기 숭요리 디기 숭기 뉴베기 직지야 마제바치는 냐샤디 디양자라 숭말.
Generally, Ananda has this capacity of not forgetting anything, and he has a great memory and remembered everything what Buddha taught, word by word. So then, after years of Buddha's passing away, he taught all things he received from Buddha again to the people.
대한항 신기 외숭 전부기 닝아란조 ngomba che ani phangba nyawa khorgi dulwa ani kungaw gi dodedi sanji gi sungsha bodi yangja ko lenji yangja sungsha ko konji
wesungi
ngomba che nyawa khorgi dulwa kungaw gi dode dodona sanji gi sungdi denusumna mardibo yemara denusum chazang yangja ji konnamba sungsha.
And the Ananda, he collected the entire teaching of the sutta, and then with Dipamkara, he collected teachings, entire teachings of Abhidhamma, and then Nyawarkor, he collected the teachings of the Vinaya. Basically, there's 3 baskets, and Tipitaka, entire teachings of the Buddha were collected by those 3 disciples of the Buddha.
안 대한한 신기 대단 냠도 다좀방 앞대요.
Along with them, there were also around 500 arhats.
콘남바기 빵부치니 산지기 송원 낭신코랑기 콘남바기 송소스네 찍라 첼라메 봤으니 빵부치니 그랑 진짜양 나오래.
They approved that those 3, Ananda and Dipamkara and Nyawarkor, they taught Buddha's teaching without making any mistakes. So those arhat approved that.
다디 아니 가두디 나라라 되니 라딘스 탐지기야 산지 신라 셰네양 산지기 최디 라량 다 내된 디저기 코르송서 베미스 땡아당 디네 나와레스.
So then peoples and the gods and all the beings, and they were very happy, and then they were highly praising those disciples of Buddhas for making the teachings of the Buddha available again.
알았어. 다디 간도 디 가두낭사디 사자디 간도 양디 갸가르게디 갸르버캅라 갸르버캅네야 추생기 네지지니 야 자구지와 어두르 가두낭레스
The Sajarang Tandik
라즈그리슨지와 자구풍보리 니람질라 라즈그리슨지와 라즈그리니 발라 추생기 군가라와슨 지기를 추서울레사지야 데니야 켄자 망부 자니야라니 자구지와
the council took place in Rajgir, next to the famous mountain, and there is a spring, hot spring place, and just above that there is a cave, and just there, around there, this council took place.
라스다디 군가오기 도데기 가두 쟁디 텔텐타 군가오스 샤나 추고리.
So as Ananda collected the entire sutra teachings, so here I as referred to Ananda.
라다디니 말라 좀된데 갤벨캅 작업풍벌이라 gelong기 겐든 첨보다 잔주선배 겐든 첨보 탑지도 주대. 다디 좀된데 아니 기샤랍 님보 숭미 뒤즈직라 아니 좀된데 슈사디 아니 가저 작업 풍부디 있은지 와라 누르슈여레서 아니 코르텔라 gelong제 아니 장주선배 겐든야 여레서 다 미마인베 장주선배 겐든자 냠도 슈여레서 고라.
So then the following line, at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajgir at the Vulture Peak Mountain together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. This is basically referring to the time when this event took place. At that time, Buddha was there on the Vulture's Peak Mountain and surrounded by his disciples, bodhisattva and arhats and many others.
남주 산지 도망 찰라 gelong기 겐두 치부 장마로 연구요와 누르미세기 장주선배 겐두인 순고디 장주선배 겐두인 될라 땐 미인고고 말해 라당 루당 가리나 용추.
Generally in sutra, it says Buddha's follower refer to great the bodhisattvas, but here in this context,
yes, the great committee of the monks 인디 용다 연구래. 이는 the bodhisattvas 인디 시라 연구 말. 두루믹세 순고디 미 땡쟁기 둘자.
So generally, it's quite common in the sutra. Buddha, the follower referred to the great community of monk, but here, along with the community of the monk, there is the community of the bodhisattva, and then bodhisattva generally. It's the highly realized being, and as well as there could be the not beings who are not ordinary, not like us, basically.
둘와 시샤체나 아니 돈바시 슈고나 아니 잠불링 미지고 그래.
According to Vinaya, and if we have to take ordinations, then we have to have ordinary and the human being.
그냥 장주선배기 라바타도 체나 인지민지 미인고고 민도 라다 루든전 장주선께네 장주선배 돈바 슈추고.
According to the Bodhisattva's teaching, then sometimes beings, it doesn't have to be human exactly. Even gods and nagas, they can receive the bodhisattva vows.
Wala so da duro pun so nga sang so chue sungwin di tembache ta chue nyinging ko la tene gindu ta mi changju samba yure mi maing king changju samba to kung ga khran shu yura khor pun so ba tu di dinde chue sungwe tu so te ga han la che ne di ani jagu phung bo ri che chue di tene thaba chimbo sharap ning bu chu pun so nga cha so.
So this kind of demonstrates the five splendors or the excellences. The first as five splendors. First is referred to Buddha himself, the teacher, the great teacher, and then a second referring to his follower, the community of the monks and the bodhisattva, and then time, the specific time when it took place, and then the place, the Rajgir basically, where it happened, and then Dharma here specifically referred to teaching of the Mahayana.
Dene maltine tumo main bigi ta lingshi chi yung tu ma.
And then next line, it's teaching or the context, which is not, it's uncommon context.
Ten namju ina tomba sanje shuk shu yundi ani kindu ba su gi tiwa tina lamsa tomba la tiwa shu tombe gi len sungu.
In general case, whenever there is a question, then question was raised to Buddha and the Buddha answers.
Ta tei kapsu ta tei che chomden de samo nawa sheja chogi namdang gi ting so nyambar shu so dor ta chomden de ta tong tenjung sungju gi ta ani ka se nyamlen gang la shuk shu re nyamsha ta komdun nang le sungu.
Here, when it says the Blessed One enter an absorption on the category of the phenomena called profound appearance, so basically points out that the Buddha was resting in the meditative equipoise.
Ta tomba sanje gi ani sherab nyingbo te jingi labe kai chuldu zeba tengui tengi tula babi ba kongyung di te kongden de gi nyamsha namara.
When Buddha realized that this teaching, which came through Buddha's blessing, as the time to kind of proper time to this teaching to take place, then he sat in this meditative equipoise.
Chidang sanje la nyamsha yimbe kapda mayimbe kapsne thenla dinde yomar sanje khadune nyamsha.
Ultimately, there's no such things that Buddha is either in the meditative equipoise or not in meditative equipoise. Buddha is always beyond.
Tengaranzo dulja dulwe ki thendala tene kapala nyamsha nang yesro kapka manang besro ta dine number 10 bar ma thenla dinde yomar.
So, in order to give teachings and help sentient beings to realize the truth, then Buddha appeared to be resting in the meditative equipoise sometimes, and sometimes not resting in the meditative equipoise.
Duru samo nangwa shigin tela dishe tela samo sheba di tongba niche nangwa sagin di tendel dorduna tong tendel sungdu jubi ki ta nyamsha ngwa la shubari es sungdu. Samo tongba niche nangwa sheba di tendel la che tong tenjung sungju ki ta nyamsha ngwa la shubari es.
So here, the profound appearance, profound refer to emptiness, and appearance refer to interdependence, and basically the unity of the emptiness and interdependence.
Ta sanje gi tugi jilap tela tene yang tei kapsu yang tei sira chanju samba chimbo tene papa chirese wangchu shirabji paro chimba samu chobanila namba da chi phumanga wa tela rashi tomana tawo ta chirese ya nyamsha nane khongi yang ta tong tenjung gi sungju gi twendi ani dorduna pena phungbo le chambe gi chötam je rangsing gi tongba ni ba ji khong gi khen song re so.
So then next line, at the same time, Noble Avalokitesavara, the Bodhisattva great being, while considering the practice of the profound practice of the perfect wisdom, so the five aggregates are empty of nature. So referring to Avalokitesavara, also resting in the meditative equipoise and realizing the teaching of the unity of the emptiness and the interdependence, and seeing that everything is not truly established.
Naduru Changju Semba Chembo Sunda Semba Chembo Senape Chedu Ming Nagne Lenin Jogoidi Sa Jubala Nebegita King Tala Nebi Changju Semba Kogo Papa Yimbala Changju Semba Chembo Lagra Ta Dei Naneganta Kongdita Saju Kungi Tamala Shubi Changju Semba Tulsung Kora.
So here, this for Avalokitesavara, it's is said to be Bodhisattva and the great beings, and basically, when there are these two specific title, Bodhisattva and the great being, it's referring to the great being who is on the 10th booming and the level of the their highest booming. So on that, the Avalokitesavara has already reached, and he is there, and from that state he is giving the teaching.
Ta kongi dorduna chötam je rangsingi tongba nyimbaji kongdu chubare yesu.
In short, he has realized that all phenomena are empty by nature.
Ta jidang anzo tongba segintela kowalena matawa khashiyeji.
So generally, there are different ways to understand the concept of empty.
Ta dirisore ngomane medebachila pena ani kanse omala shoyu marwa ngane mebagi tongbas omala shoyu tongbas dirisore pe.
So one way to understand it's something that did not exist before. For example, the milk doesn't have a yogurt at the beginning. So just like that, and something that not exist before.
Teniyang niba tongba tela shigni meba tongba shignasna ta meba deni ra pena teni shola oma meba ra oma desin bara.
So the second is the empty, which is basically the one that which is kind of destroyed, or is it's ceased. So for that kind of the emptiness. So it could be one of the meaning. And for instance, the milk. And the yogurt that does not have milk, and just like that, the things that has already ceased is not existing anymore. So then the third one is like one does not have the other, like the right hand and left hand. Right hand does not have left hand, and the left hand does not have right hand. Then next one is not existing at all, as usually explained as the horns of the rabbit.
The
actual emptiness should be the emptiness which is naturally empty.
되게 공두십이 똥바 탐지 니세와.
Those other emptiness are the emptiness which is wasn't that
기마도.
and
전당원에도 많이 봐도.
the ordinary emptiness, which is not the finest emptiness.
랑신 생들로 ngōla kōra, chūkoran ngō 랑신.
The Rangshin Tibetan term and the nature or nature refers to the actual the basis of the phenomena.
근데 똥바사 랑신 내 미투바, 랑신 축 미투바 kōra.
Then empty referring to not being able to be established by nature, by itself.
ngaran 저기 낭당라 따당단 띵원에 지 덴바 인사를 코 랑신 템부 인사 쟁거데 딱지 당기 랑신 템부 춘 메바 주도와 축 미투바 툴바 임바 따딜리질라 똥바니 슬라고랑 오데.
So when it appears to be, truly established with a firm stance or the nature. But when we investigate, then it's actually not truly established and not firm at all, not always changing. And there's no concrete nature in it.
다 랑신기 똥바 서긴기 칙들라 ngō tōngba 되고 소 양 남바 땡들 임바치 거 슈글 칙들 되는 거래. 칙들 내가 좀 버려. 거지 네가 똥니스 라브마도 슈수 아니 가나 땡들 임바치 똥땡주 송주 임바치 고주 와치 다 투모 많이 백칙들.
Then when it's said empty by nature, empty by essence, so it basically refers to the emptiness, which is actually in accord with the interdependence, the union of the emptiness and the interdependence. It has a great meaning.
되는 양 가람 저 삼로 찌게 다 장주쌤 망부지에 이나 양 값들이 제레스기 가르진 디 된다는 소리나 삼로시 양 딘리지 용식이라.
Then there might be another doubt, among us, and that why, among all the followers of Buddha, why Avalokitesvara is giving this teaching?
땡한테야 남주 제레스기 셰바드다 닝지기 다 투모 많이 받지 숨고요라.
Generally, Avalokitesvara is believed to be the deity of the compassion.
딘디 단다기 택바첨부 냠렌디 똥니 닝지 숭도 주고지 난고야지. 딘디 고아지 렌토나양 야고 유사레 상도.
And then the teaching of the Mahayana, the great vehicle, is generally teaching on the union of the emptiness and compassion. So and this is a good way to take it to understand this part.
tani tene sanji ki tu tseda denpa sharipu chanju semba semba chimbo papa chirese onchu la tege che meso riki pumo kaangla la shirabji parlu chimba samyo choba chabardo bate chidala barcha ta doduna sanji ki tu ki samyo nangwa shibi tingi zingi chilabla tene ani sharipu la yang chirese la tiwa tangi papa kya samare sumatin papa tene ani nganzo pupo modin zogi 라 산지기 로마르 규비기라 리기 포모딘 저기 아니 시랍지 바로 집에 냠내지 난고구나 간대지 난고 그래 제가 디버그로 그랬어.
So then next line, then through the Buddhist powers, as the Venerable Shariputra said to noble Avalokitesvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a son or the daughter of a noble family who wish to practice the profound perfection of the wisdom to train? So basically, this line, points out that through the great blessings, the power of the Buddha, then the Shariputra was kind of gained certain the courages to ask Avalokitesvara about the specific way to train those noble sons and daughters in the specific the training of the great perfection. So basically, Shariputra, he was able to ask this through Buddha's power.
다 도드나 콩기 티와디양 똥니리 짬비 티와디 강사직이 많이 야산직 버도 냠nen지고네 간데치고래 쓴다 티와직이 나라 람가기 림바기 냠nen지당 간데데스 티와다 촉돔 냠냐 티와꿀샤고 지레다.
So basically the question here raised by the Shariputra is a question on how to practice these profound wisdoms through the 5 paths and then there's the 10 bhumis, and all the way from the the first the path to the path and then the bhumi and the state of the Buddha, the perfect Buddhahood, how to kind of practice it in a very in the best way. That's basically the questions I was asked by Shariputra here.
다 나도 남주 규마 지니 까메슈바이나 미규마 지기 아니 산지기 고방토고나 냠린 간데치고리 디와레다디.
In a very simple, ordinary way, here this is a question like an ordinary being for him or her, just in order to attain the Buddhahood. So how should we do that? That's basically the question.
근데 샤리푸기 디와델라데 파바치리스기양 미다 부다 포모 수양릉와지기 당분이 탈도 산지 버려 냠nen치나 딜이 제거리 쓴다디다 람응하던 딜비기 냠nen치는 순구라.
So then Avalokitesvara, to the question raised by the Shariputra, he has to answer that beings who are interested into this practice of the noble path, they have to do it from first the steps to all the way to the final steps, just in a in correct order. So that's what he has to kind of explain to Shariputra.
teni thakpa chumbo gi nyamling gi ningbo di tongni ningji ningbo chin di chatigwa di mikyuma bubumuni sung sanji gi pardo nyamling kante chigri stiwa tangsha.
Generally, the teaching of the great vehicle is on the union of the emptiness and the compassion, and then here the question is raised by Shariputra that how the general the sons and the daughters of the noble families, how should we practice this?
Wala teni da dila da paba chirisigi di wal lendin zoyang tongni gi nyamlen ti cholamne ya sanji pardo yorete yodang de la yang teni rimba manda yora ta ti sungyungri.
And then in his answer, in Avalokitesvara's answer, even though this the meaning kind of starts from the path of the accumulation all the way to the path, the meditation, and but even though it is there, but he will have to explain it in specific ways, and in each level. So how should the daughters and the sons of the noble family practice?
또 남중 어저 진리 샤그라 촉람라 똥니기 고와선 샤그라.
Generally, on the path of the accumulation, we say the understanding of the emptiness.
졸람라 촉 가세 다 똥니기 용화 시게요라.
On the path of the joining, then the experience of the emptiness should be realized.
통람라 때니 운숨지 똑바. 춘이 운숨도 통으로 똑으로.
And then on the path of the seeing, then it is the emptiness which is directly perceived.
아니 곰람데라 통람레 그냥 만다우스 통에 말해 통람기 통교 대랑 딱 검디스 난 거라.
On the path of the meditations, then it is the emptiness which is realize on the path of the seeing the directly perceived emptiness. So on the path of the meditation, then we have to maintain that realizations.
밀로 빌람라 탈치 봐라.
Then the path of the non-learning is perfecting the realization of the emptiness there.
다 디기 바 차상하지 마. 다 디네 마 용그레. 근데 제마 진짜 슈초바체 갈래갈래지.
Then this specific way how this is taught will come in the next sessions.
로주도 적지 삼다니 다 디데기 깔레카보로 디데 가이 말에 탭카시실로나 공덕하오래야 가시지야 로주디데 파주 심죽지기 과가 말아야 되는 따지 따지 펜도 연하산베기 따도스도 슈샤바이.
Generally, the historical background about this teaching is not very difficult to obtain or to learn about. But here, in order to make the teaching clear for our the audience, so I have spoke a bit about this historical backgrounds. So today we will stop here. The time is up, and we will do the dedication together.
Changchun Simchoi Rinpoche Manje Banam Kinjurinchi Keba Nyamba Meba Yang Kone Kondun Pelwa Shu Sonam Dien Tamje Sikwa Tobne Nyebe Danan Pamje Yega Nachi Bala Chukbai Sibin Solen Dowan Dolwai Shu